Hello and welcome back to my grass monotype of Pokemon Emerald Omega. In the last episode, we had some struggles, but we finally got through the challenging task that was defeating Tabitha and defeating Maxie before we came down to Lava Ridge Town and, defying all the odds, managed to smash past Flannery. And now we are here on Route 111 in the desert, ready to finally acquire our fossil. As I completely forgot. Essentially, I was right in my thoughts from previous. So my thoughts was that you needed to change route in order to trigger whether the tower is there or not. What I completely forgot, of course, is that Route 111 is the entirety of the route, including the sandy area. So therefore, if you want to leave Route 111, you must go all the way, either all the way back to Moorville or, you know, across. I also completely forgot that in this area we have an area for the mark bike. Fun, fun, fun. Everyone knows how much we love the mark bike. Okay. Good, there we go. First one done. I might well save at individual points because I seriously cannot be bothered to be going back and forth with this area over and over and over again. As I have been. Although I do know the next section is Rock Smash. So yeah, generally you need both Rock Smash and the Mark Bike to get through here. And that's all we need. And there are 5 fossils here. Obviously, they're giving you lots of options because of, you know, being the sort of catch-em-all game that it is. So what do we have as our options is the question. I'm assuming we can still only take one. Dome fossil. Old Amber. So that's obviously, Dome is Carpitoad. Old Amber is Aerodactyl. Root is the one we want. Is Cradily. We've got the Claw, which is Armaldo. And the Helix, which is Lord Helix himself on the star. So, we will most certainly take the Root fossil. And it looks like you can actually take all of the fossils that you want, which is a nice touch. It's always a bit of a pain that you sort of, you know, you can't do that in the main games. Essentially, once you, at least though, in Emerald you can actually get all the fossils at once, sorry, in one go. But you do need to wait till you've beaten the post game in order to do so, because the area behind the Fossil Maniac's house, so essentially the underground area, that's where you find the last little bit there. And in order to get there, obviously, like I said, you need to, it only opens up once you've beaten the whole game. So yeah. Okay, awesome. So now we're just going to quickly head up back up to Mount Chimney and see if the expert trainers that sort of are often found around here, see if they've spawned in yet. They may well not have. I don't quite know. It looks like they have, which is good. Of course you catch me just as I change my direction. Anyway, so level 36s is really no threat to us. Primarily, we're up here. It does give you a chance to sort of grab the meteorite if you missed it last time. But yeah, main reason is I want to Giga Drain the Azumarill. Lovely jubbly. Even though I Giga Drained the other one, but there we go. What's that? Heat of the Mount Chimney warmed me up, baby. So yeah, but yeah, no, if you missed the meteorite earlier, you can grab it there. Still, these levels are nice and generous to us. We can definitely deal with 37s. And thankfully that camera did not go for a fire-type move. We see a Drought Vulpix. Drought is obviously, you know, it would be quite nice actually having Having a Droughtmon on my team would be great, but obviously that isn't going to happen. Breloom is best dealt with by Barloom. Barloom does a great job there. I would love to know where we get Sludge Bomb. This is the problem, like, I don't know where a lot of the TMs are in this game. So getting the actual good moves could be a bit of a test for us. Anyway, we've done all these battles, so we'll just arrive back in Larbridge. I just want to check if there's anything sort of this game unique in Larbridge. We didn't really see anything in terms of the mart, although I didn't check the items. So that's sort of like saying how your Pokemon do better if they spend a long time with you. They claim these, yeah. So lava. They're claiming that these hot springs are good for calming nervous tension, relieving aching muscles, solving romantic problems, and attracting money. I feel like, yeah, they're probably, they might be sort of overselling the abilities of the things. I believe we do get an egg. Yeah. We do get an egg here. Which I will swiftly deposit. No, we'll walk around with it until, because I'll have to wait for Cradilly to, to essentially, you know, obviously, be, it's not hatched, sort of like revived from the fossil, that's the word. It's also quite a nice sort of comment on, as we see the Mimic Tutor, quite a nice sort of comment on stuff like how certain mons, without explaining the ability, means that you actually hatch eggs faster and stuff like that. I think that's quite cool. Okay, so there really wasn't anything there in Larbridge, so a bit of a waste of time, but that's no problem, nothing at all. We do have a few more battles to deal with in the sand. But once we have done that, I think we're pretty much done with most of what we've seen around this area. As we get more money in the form of Stardust. Okay, so that's the Fossil Maniac who just talks about sort of Mirage Tower. Let's see if we get a 3-turn. I don't think we've had a 3-turn. Oh no, there we go. I say that just as we get 3-turn. We'll try and Rock Smash. We'll still try and Rock Smash. There we go, lovely. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, I don't care. Yeah. Apologies if my laptop's starting to become a bit louder. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll just quickly head up here to the old woman. We might try Norman today, or at least try some of his gym trainers. Obviously having Cradilly for that battle would actually be quite helpful as a resist to normal type moves. Always good to have a sort of resist. That's why Cradilly would have been great against the fire type team, but you know, can't have everything. But yeah, we'll see what we can get. The thing with Cradilly is that I'm pretty sure its ability is sort of fixed as soon as we hatch it. Revive it. Which means that I may need to sort of spend a few sort of times just sort of going back and forth reviving it just until we actually get an ability and nature that are good for us. So that is something just to bear in mind. Which is probably why I won't get the Cradilly this... Well, I won't get the Elite this episode is what I mean. I'll probably get it the next episode. At the start of the next episode, and will have leveled it up in preparation. Whether we do that in preparation for Norman, or whether we actually try and do Norman in this episode, is sort of one of the questions I guess we'll answer. As we see a hippopotas and a sand sledge. Lovely. We're doing a good job of actually just clearing out a lot of these guys, although these are sort of trainers who tend to have mons that are weak to us, which is always good from our perspective. So, one more trainer. We probably shouldn't have come to a place like this for a picnic, but there we go. We'll just petal dance. We should be able to deal with things coming in. It is a one-hit KO on the Lombre. Lovely. Meganium's still not doing too bad a job, actually. Haven't truly decided what sort of role I want Meganium to have on my team, I guess. Like, everyone else sort of has their role sort of pretty much assorted, but I feel like, well, I mean, Volplume's also not too sure. I still want Sludge Bomb and probably Giga Drain, but do I have Giga Drain or Moonlight? Because having some form of recovery is always good. Is Giga Drain enough in that sense? Do I want Aromatherapy as a way of removing status, which is actually kind of important because we're actually, whenever we do get status, it is really annoying at the moment. There are questions to be asked, let's put it that way. Okay, so we need to head back to, all the way back to Petalburg, which means we can just head through Verdant Turf, through the Rustborough Tunnel, and then make our way down to Petalburg. I think that makes most sense. And then we'll get the ability to surf, which means a Ludicolo will finally have its sort of main water stab. I'm assuming, unless Scald is in the game, in which case we might well want Scald. The chance to burn things is always useful. Okay, so yeah, we'll run through the Rust Turf Tunnel. It'll be interesting to see if Norman's gym continues its sort of sort of idea that it had before last time of sort of being for of being about sort of like items and stuff like that, and sort of people using various X items, which isn't like super interesting, but you know, it's worth. Okay, so we can get a link cable which actually allows us, I'm assuming, to trade Pokemon. Oh, and you can buy them at the store. Okay, so that means I'm assuming that you can just use, it's like an evolution item, which is actually really cool. And I'm assuming what that means is that you can buy more of them at Lilycomb. So if you've got a team full of trade proms, then you know, that would be it. Okay, so we'll hand it over to the route to him. So he'll tell us to go for a stroll. We can obviously pick it up straight away, but we won't do that. We will do that at the start of the next episode. I have a feeling the Cutmaster's somewhere around here. It just feels like it's the right city for it, but I may well be wrong. Ah, so there's another egg there, so maybe we should try that, test that out too. Although obviously once we have the leap in our team, we'll actually have maxed out everything. I obviously didn't look around Rustturf a lot. Sorry, Rustborough a lot. Too busy being annoyed by the fact that I couldn't beat Roxanne. With a team that obviously feels like it should be able to beat Roxanne. But there we go. Obviously, if we do get cut, we'll then need a cut more. Do I have? Have I just been in it? No, I don't have cuts. I have strength, flash, and rock smash. Okay, good. I'm not going insane. I just need to find the cut master somewhere. So there's Wally's house. We've got Norman's gym. I think this is when we find out that Wally's... We haven't found out yet that Wally's, like... I think he goes missing at some point, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh yeah, I forget that they added like little patches of grass so that they could sort of max out the dex filling in terms of being able to catch wild mons. It's always a nice touch. Okay, so normal types. Obviously, Breloom is looking to be MVP. Having smashed through the tail end of Flannery's team, Breloom is looking good to actually start taking massive leaps into sort of recovering from its difficult start as a Shroomish. So we've got speed and accuracy. Because what they could obviously use is they could be using berries as opposed to be using X items. As we see a Swellow, which I'm sure... Oh, I could have Sky Uppercutted. That's really annoying. Okay. What do we do? What do we do? We sacrifice him onto the Fly, obviously. We go to Veganium. Fly does so much damage. Quick attack, routine, yeah, lovely. Okay, Breloom. This time, we'll Sky Uppercut as he goes for the Fly. No! Okay, I missed. So now we've got to go into Vileplume and let Vileplume take the Fly. Vileplume takes that really well. You go, Vileplume. You take that. He literally can't kill you if his only flying type move is Fly, then you will win this battle, assuming he doesn't crit you to death. But even if he tries to crit you to death, you take that through. Well done. Well done, Vileplume. You be you, Vileplume. Okay, cool. So, that is one of the battles done. After Breloom missed a Sky Uppercut. Oh, that's the whole point of Sky Uppercuts, that you can hit mons during like fly and bounce. It would be lovely. Delcatty. Yeah, go to sleep. There we go. That's what we want to see. Okay, so now we've got the recovery run, which I'm assuming is like, I can heal up. Spore as he crush claws me. Oh, you have Vital Spirit. Oh, of course. And we got a Lucky Paralysis off, which is always nice. The one-hit KO room is next, so... Zangoose, we will pick out. So it goes for the dire hit, and then we'll just Energy Ball. Lovely. So obviously, our dad is gonna, like Norman's gonna be way more interesting probably than these trainers. As you go into the defense room, as we see a Wigglytuff, which is fairy in this game. Okay, fine. We'll just paint it. Okay, yeah. So if you are fairy in this game, we'll just go to Vileplume. And we will acid you, which is super effective and lowers your special defense. Lovely job. Well done, Vileplume. Vileplume is currently looking like MVP. I would not have said Vileplume was going to be MVP at some point, but I'm just wrong. Turns out I'm just wrong. Okay, so now we've got Jody, who takes out an Ursa Ring. We do Fake Out, because why not? Energy Ball does a whole load of damage. Is this the... So that's Norman's room. Confusion is not done. As we see a Spinder, so classic sort of... classic sort of teeter dance set, we can assume. Or Dizzy Punch. Those are the confusion dealing moves, but there we go. Cool. So, done all of that. Lovely. Should we take on Norman? I think we should take on Norman. Actually, no. I'm not allowed to take on Norman by the rules of my own playthrough. That I should always have a team of 5 by the time we actually deal with the 5th gym leader. So there we go. We will keep Norman waiting. For now, we will race back to Rossborough, and then I think I will save in front of the... we'll have to save in front of the guy as I pick up the egg. Sorry, as I pick up the lily. I'm pretty sure that... I have a feeling that I checked this, that your Lilip sort of... your Fossilmon's stats and sort of individual values and all that sort of stuff aren't decided until you pick it up. I might be wrong, but we shall see. So, okay, so yeah, we're going to go through this process where I save. I've done it obviously in lots of other playthroughs, so obviously I've done this with all my other mons as well. You know, essentially this is exactly the same thing. I caught 5 of them and then decided the best one based on their like nature and stuff like that. That's what we're doing here essentially. So we get the Lily. We don't need to give it a nickname. And obviously the problem is that we have the egg in our party. So let us drop off the egg. No. Withdraw. So the first Lilip that we see is level 25, which is always nice. I think they evolve at level 40. Fossils. Suction Cups is the ability. We see a Jolly nature, which is not ideal as far as I'm aware. Constrict Acid, Ingrain, Confuse, Ray. So Jolly is the first one. I'm quite happy to reset on that. I'll just deposit in the egg because otherwise it'll be annoying. Okay, so you're going to give me a... I should have saved after that, but oh well. So, Lilip, this one is Rash, which I think increases attack at the expense of something, I'm sure. But anyway, well, I can't quite remember all of the natures as well, so that's not great. So in that case, I will, but at least what we've seen here is that it changes, which is good. I think the ability will stay as Suction Cups. I don't think Storm Drain was an available ability at this point, and I don't think it's been added, which means that, unfortunately, we won't have that lovely water immunity that we obviously need as a grass-only team, having 1 quad resist in Ludicolo already. But there we go. But no, yeah. So I will come back at the start of the next episode. We will be ready to take on Norman. I will have this Lilith leveled up to where we need it to be useful. Thankfully, evolution is actually quite close to sort of the levels we're at, which is actually good. And then yeah, we'll be ready to take on Norman, get Surf, and then we will be got loads and loads of battles, and suddenly it's all going to become beautiful because all of those surfing routes and all of those water-type Pokemon trainers that usually are so frustrating should hopefully just be experience in the bag for us. Now that I've said that, they'll have changed all of those trainers to fire-type ones. But there we go, you know, that'll just be it. But anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this episode of my Grass Monotype, even if it's been a little bit shorter. I hope you'll join me on the next, where we'll be taking on our father in our 5th gym badge. This is gym battle, so see you then.